No, I like this. Let's test this for a while. We've only jammed a couple games with this build. Actually, that was the first game with this new build, so let's not make any changes just yet. It's funny, like, I keep adding, like, we started with only about, what, 19 lands and had a bunch of probes. And then I was like, yeah, but we've got, like, these Lotus Petals. We have plenty of mana sources, right? And that's true. But the deck is pretty mana hungry, it feels. That's 26 mana sources. One of which, of course, I mean, some of them are double, yeah. And one of which is for binning the Enter the Infinite. But that being said, like, I feel like we always just want more mana. Pretty much every game I'm like, yep, we've got it, but I'm not able to cast it. But we haven't played enough games for that necessarily to be the case, so let's jam a couple more. It's good to see you, Lazy Cloud Watcher. Oh, Lazy. Okay, so we maybe got a new group of people in here since it's like 4 in the morning. This has got to be my last game. It's almost 5 in the morning. So I was talking to Melissa, or listening in on Melissa, and how she handles. Well, we'll maybe talk about it tomorrow. I'm really tired. Just got here. How does it work? So basically, you have Enter the Infinite right in the graveyard, right? How do you do that? Well, there's a couple different ways to do it. I wish we had more ways to do it. To be honest with you, I think that's what the deck really wants. Although it's only a 3-up. The most efficient way being the intuition. If you do manage to draw it naturally. I mean, one of the things we could do, not that this is, hang on a second. Concede. Not that this is necessarily what I want to do. I'd still love the play sets of Brainstorm and Ponder. Like, our fetching isn't great. What is it? 9? Actually, it's only 8. So the Brainstorm's not really the happiest in our deck. The Ponders are great, of course. As a combo deck, Ponder's fantastic. Again, we could go back to what we were doing before, which was 1 to 2 Dream Halls in the sideboard. Spark says Faithless. Fox says run into. Yeah, Gickman, you could run deck. You could run. Yeah, I think the only awkward thing is when we talk about these situations where we have the mastery already for whatever reason. We've drawn it, we tutored for it, whatever. We have one. We burning wish for it. Great, we have one. And we also have an Enter the Infinite, but the Enter the Infinite's in the hand. And we just haven't really found, the only one that I'm happy with is the Colosseum. We just haven't really found what I would deem just an easy, efficient, happy way to get the Enter the Infinite into the graveyard outside of Intuition, period. And that's where the Dream Halls is just stronger, actually. Period. Yeah. I mean, another way we could handle this is make it more of a Dream Halls deck. Seriously, I mean, that might be where the deck needs to go. Because, yes, the Mizzix Mastery works, and yes, like, we weren't even running Dream Halls originally. I could maybe talk to Small Town some other time. He's letting us borrow these halls. And maybe the deck just wants to be a Dream Halls deck, and then you start trimming Masteries. Mastery, of course, is a Burning Wish target, yes. But maybe it's just a better Dream Hall deck. Just run the Issachar. Enter the tin for the... Lazy says, I like the idea, but it seems a little clunky. Yeah, I think that the Mizzix is the hardest part. Like, again, like the Intuition does a really good job setting up the combo, but it doesn't... It doesn't, yeah, I mean, like, another way we could do, hang on, Hold up, hold up. Let me think about this for a second. Conflux into Cruel Ultimatum. You could. I wish we could get. Hang on. Here's some of the cards I'm thinking about switching, or at least putting in the sideboard. I'd like to focus on this and do a better job doing this, and then once they hate on our graveyard, switch over to these. Actually, is where I'd like to be. You can run a Miser, Halls, just fine. Haven't been that impressed with Pact. The Teferi Realm has yet to impress me, so we're going to trim that by one. We're going to run one more Dream Halls in the main, and I'm okay with the Fluster Storm. I think Fluster's fine. Okay, so I want 2 discard cards that are reasonable, that do multiple things. I think it's the Izzet Charms. I know it seems crazy. I think the Izzet Charm is where we want to be. Just run Jace Vryn's Prodigy. The problem with Jace is one of the benefits of this deck is we're nearly immune to creature removal. And we want to stay that way because the Maniac, we don't want the Maniac to be hit. We don't want to give our opponents a reason to be like, oh, well, he had Jace Vryn's Prodigy game 1. Maybe I should continue to run my, my creature removal. Because we're sideboarding sometimes into Maniac. So I don't really want to give my opponents a reason to want to keep in their creature removal necessarily. I want it to just be completely useless game 1. I want it to just be virtual card advantage for the deck game 1. Really advocate against careful study. No, I think like Izzet Charm might be fine. Izzet Charm will kill pesky Deathrite Shamans. Yeah. I think there's a lot of merit to the Izzet Charms, and we keep trying to get away from them, but I think they're fine. I think they're perfectly fine. Like, originally we were going to try 2-1 Split of Halls, and, yeah, I think run Firestorm. Yeah, we talked about Firestorm, actually. Firestorm's neat. It is. Firestorm's neat. We actually talked about it. Not crazy. So the Enter the Infinite's a freebie, right? So the first card you discard with the Firestorm's a freebie. If you wanted to kill a Deathrite Shaman, you'd have to exile something else. The problem is the Deathrite isn't dead until after the Enter the Infinite's been discarded, so... Or how would that work? Right, so we cast the Firestorm, the Enter the Infinite is in the graveyard, priority passes to my opponent before the damage is dealt to the... Before the Firestorm finishes resolving, opponent can Deathrite Shaman the Enter the Infinite. Their Brainstorm's right here, dude. I did like the... No, I never said that, dude. That's so weird. No, I was just saying Brainstorm's not as happy as it could be in our deck because we're only running... honestly, I think we just want more fetches. I think we just want more lands. Like, we've been having trouble just making those land drops. Period. A lot of the games were just like, wow, if we had a little more mana. And again, if we were running the Miser Simian Spirit Guide again, I wouldn't be so afraid of using up the petals, because if you use up the petals, when you go to combo off, you don't have enough mana to use the Storm. I don't think the first Simian Spirit Guide was wrong. I don't. There was a reason we were running it for a while. There was a reason to have 5 instead of 4 of this type of effect. There was a reason to have 5. And that reason is we're less hesitant to use them before we combo off. Draw the whole deck and then play 3 of those effects and then Lightning Storm. How's it going, Placios? we could go back to the Miser Spirit Guide. We'll keep testing it. I did notice you. Let's try Miser. We'll see if we like it. We'll see if we like it. I'm not sure I'm going to like it, but we'll see if we like it. I mean, again, you can just run 2 charms. And then that problem comes up less. Then you sideboard the Fluster, and then you don't run the pact at all. Like, again, like every game, we've just been like, we just want more mana. Like every game. And we've also wanted some sort of discard. Other than the wishable discard. Run Fact or Fiction. You can't tutor for Fact or Fiction, though. You can tutor for Deep Analysis, but you can't tutor for Fact or Fiction. We can tutor for Spray, we can tutor for Analysis. We can't tutor for something like Fact or Fiction. Well, I guess if you run like 4 or 3 of them, yeah, you could, but... It's going to be hard to get the numbers right on this thing. Analysis is great, but it could be Intuition. We're already running a playset of Intuition, Goblin. There's 4, dude. There's 4 of these. There is already 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you talking about? You're confusing me. The deck is built around Intuition. It runs a playset. It runs a playset. Runs 4. And then we have some 3s, because 3s are sweet with Intuition. I mean, the initial build had the guide, and I was happy with the guide because, again, it was letting me... Because here's the thing, if you're going off from 0 mana, right? Let's say we're mastering or... Like, again, like the mastery is why the deck is interested in things like more than just the petals. Goblin says, why are we running the Spray? Thalia, Elves, and Young Pyromancer were the big 3. There's a couple other targets, Goblin Guy. Those are the only ones that have come up thus far, or that we've at least talked about. Tokens probably won't come up as much. I don't think tokens are going to be as relevant. I think it's mostly going to come up with Thalia. I think it's mostly going to come up with Goblin, or... Well, Goblins, maybe. Chicken Chaser, thanks for the follow, Reno, man. Welcome to the show. I think it's going to come up mostly with Thalia and, let's see, Thalia, Elves, and Young Pyromancer. I think those are the biggest. Oh, yeah, you can spray to hit play. Yeah, it does hit players. You could spray a Planeswalker. Oh, yeah, lazy. Well, that deck usually runs 3 or more Simians, though. It does just fine with the Simians. This is a little reminiscent of Nauseam, though, doesn't it? It draws the whole deck and then kills. It's a little reminiscent. I didn't think about that. A little bit. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit. We're still waiting for an opponent, as you can see. So to those of you who are like, play a game, I don't have an opponent. I'm sorry. We're still in the queue. Run some Lotus Blooms. No, I don't think so. We'll stick with the petals and maybe try out the Simian and see how we like it. Legacy Blooms. The wish board is what? It's